professor. "Where is he?" asked Tess, echoing the question I'd already asked myself. "I'll take a look round back," I said. "He may be working in the garden or kitchen with his headphones on and can't hear the bell." I followed the flagstone walk-around to the side of the house and let out a yelp. My hand flew to my throat, and my heart rate soared. "Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry," I said to the woman blocking my way. I fought to regain my balance after my abrupt stop. "You startled me. Can I help you?" "Humph," the woman said, straightening as if to maximize her height. "I could ask you the same question. Does Professor Sinclair know you're here? He appreciates neither visitors nor interruptions." Her face was overshadowed by a gardening hat the size of a small umbrella. Green rubber boots with white polka dots swallowed her feet and lower legs, which vanished beneath a voluminous fuchsia skirt splattered with potting soil. A purple flannel shirt completed her outfit. Tess's stilettos clicked on the path behind me. With one hand on my shoulder, she reached in front of me, holding out her hand to greet the woman. "Tess Olmos," she said. "I'm Link's realtor, and this is Maggie McDonald, his professional organizer. We're here for an appointment." I scrambled in my cargo vest for a business card as the woman picked up the business end of a coiled garden hose. I had the distinct impression she was waiting for an excuse to turn the nozzle on us. I found a card, plucked it from my pocket, and handed it to her. "I was checking the professor's house for damage after that storm last night," the woman said as she took my card and put it in her pocket without looking at it. "My Nana would have called it a gullywomper. Nice to meet you ladies, but I need to get to work. For 20 years, the Sinclairs have allowed me to use their water in my community garden." She waved an arm toward an overgrown hedge at the back of the half-acre property. "In exchange, I provide them with fresh vegetables." "Of course," Tess said, as if she knew all about the arrangement. "And you are—" "Oh, sorry." The woman wiped her grubby hands on her pink skirt before shaking Tess's outstretched hand. "I'm Claire Domingo, but I go by Boots. I'm the president of the Orchard View Plotters Garden Club. We run the community garden in the back of the house." Before any of us could say anything more, I heard the screeching of bicycle brakes. Link careened around the corner with his legs outstretched and his jacket flapping behind him. His Irish wolfhound Newton loped beside him and made the turn easily. Out of breath, the professor jumped from the bike and let it fall to the ground beside him as if he were an 8-year-old who was late for lunch. Sorry, he said, scurrying toward us. "I had an idea for a new project in the middle of the night, and I rode over to the university. Time got away from me. Sorry to keep you waiting." Newton barked in greeting and lunged toward me. Link unhooked the dog from the bicycle leash he'd invented 10 years earlier, but had never sought a patent for. Once he'd created it and proved it worked, he'd lost interest. Newton barreled in my direction. I stepped back and knelt to give him more room to slow down before he plowed into me. Link had trained him well, but his exuberance sometimes got the better of him. I scratched him behind the ears in a proper doggy greeting before turning my attention to Link, who picked up the bicycle and leaned it against the fence. "No problem, Link," I said. "You're here now. Shall we get started?" Link patted the pockets of his jacket, his jeans, and his sweatshirt and looked up, chagrined. "I'm afraid I've forgotten my key again." Tess, Boots, and I each reached into our own pockets and plucked out keys labeled with varying shades of fluorescent tags. I laughed awkwardly and headed toward the back porch, knowing that the lock on the kitchen door was less fussy than some of the other old locks on the house. "Let's add installing new locks to the list of jobs," I told Tess. Boots followed us. We stepped carefully around some of the boxes of discarded clothing and housewares that awaited pickup by a local charity resale shop. I unlocked the door, and we trooped in. Link shifted from one foot to another, took off his glasses, and cleaned them with his shirt tail. He looked around the room, blinking as if surprised to find he was no longer in his Stanford University